Chris Matthews. And they've got to be stopped. They're there to make sure Wall Street can rob and destroy this country. And Ron Paul has called them out. Ron Paul is the real bona fide. I mean, if you don't have discernment out there and haven't watched his history, let me just tell you, Ron Paul's the real deal. And so that is coming up today. We're going to play that clip later in this hour. Hugo Chavez, and we have this clip as well, but it's in Spanish. But Chavez says U.S. weapon caused Haiti quake. Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez yesterday accused the United States of causing the destruction in Haiti by testing a tectonic weapon to induce the catastrophic earthquake that hit the country last week. Hugo Chavez said the U.S. was playing God by testing devices capable of creating eco-type catastrophes. The Spanish newspaper ABC quoted him as saying, the 7.0 magnitude quake rattled the desperately poor country on January 12th, killing an estimated 200,000 people. Over 2 million are homeless. Chavez said the killer quake followed the test of a weapon of earthquakes just offshore from Haiti. He did not elaborate on the source of the claim. We do know the Pentagon was running a drill of Haiti being hit by a hurricane at the exact same time, but that isn't proof. Secretary of Defense William Cohen, and later when I get to this article, I'm going to read from it. Secretary of Defense Cohen in the Army Times, he gives at a press conference, April 28th, 1996, said, there are other governments have earthquake weapons. We have earthquake weapons. He called them tectonic weapons. But just because they say they have these weapons, and we know they do, we know they have hurricane creation systems, that's been declassified 5 years ago. They had it certified in 1967. Doesn't mean that's what happened here. There are naturally occurring earthquakes in Central and South America and in North America. They're particularly bad in Guatemala and places like that, and in Ecuador. Haiti is not known for particularly bad earthquakes, but they do have them. They had another one yesterday. There is a 1950s declassified plan that the Australian news reported on of the Australian government with the British government wanting to set nukes off on the undersea floor to cause earthquakes and tsunamis. And so, yes, as early as, 1955 in that case, 54, excuse me, they were saying they had it. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but Hugo Chavez really is letting power go to his head with really no evidence, because I've got the newspaper report here and him on TV saying it in Spanish, and he doesn't really ever offer any proof. But we're going to get into it nevertheless and get your take on that. Also, and again, I'm going to cover this more on Monday. Instead of just covering Beck a little here, a little there, going, hey, look, he wants a new tax, a new national sales tax, and a value-added tax, which they'll keep on top of the income tax, to pay off the banks. And, hey, look, he's saying Ron Paul's a terrorist, or look, he's saying the bailout's needed, or look, he's saying we got to attack more countries, and the Patriot Act's good, and torture's good. Instead of just mentioning a few of these, we're just creating a catalog of it all in his own words, and I'm going to cover it on Monday, because he's dangerous. I mean, now he says, this article is up on prisonplanet.com, Infowars.com. Beck says truth activists in White House threaten Obama's life. I mean, it's completely insane. No proof, no nothing. Talk about slander, libel, defamation. Just comes out and says there's 9/11 truthers in his administration. No, the only person that was ever connected to 9/11 truth in any way got kicked out. Cass Sunstein, the White House regulations czar, says arrest 9/11 truthers. Make it illegal. The White House agrees with you, Becky. And so I want to, just like I exposed Obama as a false revolutionary, as a deceiver, as someone who would lie and bait and switch, I did that at the height of his popularity, and even mainstream news cites the Obama deception and Fall of the Republic as seminal films that have really damaged Obama, because we attacked him not from a fake right-wing perspective, but from a truthful perspective of what he really is. a corporate shill here to rob people and here to get the population to stand down. Now Beck is the equivalent of Barack Obama. We must target him now. We are forced to go after him because he understands what the White House understands, what Cass Sunstein understands in his talking points. The number one enemy of the New World Order is 9/11 Truth, because 9/11 Truth exposed that that was a false flag terror attack. And they expose other events as false flag terror attacks. And we educate the public that there are hundreds of examples where our government and other governments admit they staged terror attacks. And now the government and the Pentagon and the CIA's favorite tool of staged terror is a broken mechanism. And Beck again last night did it again on his show. He said 9/11 Truth is planning to kill the president. And then last night he came out again. He came out and basically said the same thing. So we have a big problem. And so this is what he does over and over and over again. But look, I'm going to hold my tongue on the subject. I'm going to hold my tongue, and I'm just going to properly go after him with a mini documentary that will premiere in the next few weeks. The problem is you've got so much evil duplicity he's involved in that it really is hard to make it short. But we're just going to do it and put it out there so it's on record so people start paying attention and start noticing what this guy's doing. I mean, for anybody who's studied how these people operate, it's as obvious as the nose on your face. But I'm done talking about it. The point is, it needs to be exposed, and we're going to expose it. But isn't it interesting that on the first anniversary of hope and change and everything was going to be different, and the wars were going to end, and the Patriot Act was going to end, and torture was going to end, and secret arrest was going to end, and transparency in government was going to be back, and there wasn't going to be any more signing statements. And it was a new dawn. We were saved by the messianic leader Barack Obama. A year later, a complete rebuke of him, the lowest approval rating of any president in history 1 year in, and plunging fast. I mean, he's way below previous people that had low approval ratings like Jimmy Carter and Dwight Eisenhower. He's way beneath them. That State Senator Brown, Scott Brown, has now been put into the Senate, replacing Ted Kennedy's slot. Scott Brown election win, a massive rebellion against big government. The problem is the Republicans are going to continue to expand the Pentagon budget that Obama's already broken the record on. They're going to continue to want to use the Patriot Act against the American people. You're not going to hear a rebuke of Homeland Security and FEMA training to go up against gun owners, conservatives, libertarians, Ron Paul supporters. After all, Glenn Beck says Ron Paul supporters need to have the Army used against them. You're not going to see any of it reversed. Mark my words. When the Republicans get into control of the House next year, later this year into next year, they'll be seated next year. When the Republicans get into power, you're going to see them betray you. Just get ready. We'll be back.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the